6:24. We can go live.
Oh, okay.
We're live. Hey, y'all.
Listen, the thing confused me. I was like, we going live, but we're not going live. Okay,
because Facebook be like, listen, you gotta we on a time clock. You better go live or else
Facebook be like, Facebook don't be giving nobody no air, air.
Yeah, we're live. How y'all doing?
Listen. Let's wrap up with what you thought about the mayor. I thought you.
I was really impressed by her. She definitely has knowledge of the position. You know, she knows about the job. She knows about the things to do. She's forward thinking, and she also showed how like sometimes they have to make like really tough decisions. Yes. Because when I asked the question about like why don't you just hire folks to do those projects, and then she talked about the cost of providing benefits and all of those types of things, right? So they got to make that decision, and so they have to contract it out because at the end of the day, I guess it saves the city money.
Right.
Well, contract it out because they don't have to have the long-term responsibility or the additional cost of providing benefits. And while she was saying that, I was thinking like that's why we need to have like Medicare for all, right? Or some sort of we need to have like something like Mass Health that the Massachusetts had, because then that would not be a consideration that like a city would have to, that wouldn't be something that a city would have to take into consideration on whether or not they're going to hire, probably local folks to come in for a project. But because their healthcare and providing those types of benefits is so expensive and it has to be factored in, then that means that they can't, hire maybe a local or someone from in the city, or maybe even promote somebody that's already working with the city that has a skill set to do the job, and they have to contract it out to some other company that's going to bring in other folks who from wherever, you don't know.
Absolutely. So and you want someone as knowledgeable as she is, because you can see that she's made a commitment to the city of North Lauderdale to make sure that they get what they need. And for her to make difficult decisions like that, you want to elect someone who, even though it's a difficult decision, she's doing for the best interest of the city. Yeah. And so that's what I got from her. I love the fact that she still tries to, even though it's not within her purview, sort of kind of within her purview, but the school, for her to be so involved in trying to make sure that the school get what they need, and even reach out to different elected officials, because hey, at the end of the day, just because they're in school board or the county commission or the state rep, they still have to work together because they still serve the same people.
They're serving the same people.
And the fact that she's making it a point to reach out to those elected officials so they can collaborate together to make sure that people in North Lauderdale get what they need and be that cohesive is important. I think that is a very important trait of an elected official, because they're reaching across the aisles to different people and trying to make sure they get the best for the people that they serve. So I love that about her. And I love that she's straightforward. I love that she is as transparent. To me, she came off very transparent. And she's trying. And I think people like that deserve to be in the position that they're in. So I hope that she does win her reelection. And the people of North Lauderdale were able to see how hard she's working for them. And so that was one of the good interviews we've had. I like that. I really did like that interview. So what's this nonsense? I did. I'd like to try. I rocks with her. Okay. I rocks with her. So before we get into what you're going to tell us about some new information or whatever, I'm going to prepare myself because I've been on level 10. So just take your time and ease it on in. Take your time and ease it in and tell me what we're looking at.
So what I wanted to do before we actually got started was to watch a press conference that was referenced in a network. I was watching something before we came on for the 5 o'clock show, because they apparently they had the police department or the sheriff or whoever and had a press conference to update folks about what was going on, right? And then so some different kind of information came out. And pretty much the broadcast that I was watching, they said that press conference actually left more questions than it answered any questions, and they're probably going to have to do another one because it really upset folks, because some of the information that was coming out yesterday turns out to be inaccurate, right? And then they've discovered that there were some delays that may have cost additional lives, right? So what am I talking about? So there was a first report that said there's a first report that said that a school resource officer was involved in all this. That turns out to not be true. So there was no school resource officer that was involved. And it turns out also that the police department that they called is 1 mile away from the school, but it took them 10 minutes to get there, right? And then once they did get there, they were hearing shots. They were gonna go in. They heard shots. They left and they waited for someone else to come. I guess like from other agencies, Border Patrol, whoever. And Border Patrol shouldn't have been involved in it, but some federal agency to come, and that took an hour for the next agency to come. So the people who ended up killing the shooter, they came 60 minutes after. Which is pretty much a total of like 70 minutes from the time they got the original call, right? But check this part out. So this is the part that even gets more interesting. So there were parents that were outside, but that wanted to go in the building, and the police wouldn't let them in. One of the moms, the police officer handcuffed her, right? And because she knew one of the local police officers, she's like, listen, get them to take these handcuffs on me. So they took because they threatened to arrest her, handcuffed her, threatened to arrest her. She was able to get them to take the handcuffs off. She went through a window, got her kids out of the building and left while they were standing outside waiting for whatever agency to come, right? There was another one of the dads who was like, listen, you're hearing shots, like, let us go in. And so not only, and again, that I'm not law enforcement. I'm sure if we get a cop on this show, they're going to explain why that's protocol and why they had to do what they did. Or, I don't know. But they were outside. The police officers were basically, they had a perimeter with the kids inside with the shooter, waiting for the people with the right equipment, I guess tactical gear, to come in. That took an hour. They got in there, and once they got in there, that's when they killed the shooter. And it turns out that the person who actually killed him was an off duty. And so then there was a little bit of an explanation they gave that says that it is a small town. They may not have had enough staff, and all these things on why they didn't go in and all that and all that and all that. But they was out there handcuffing parents and keeping them from going inside to get their kids. And they were hearing shots, but they were standing outside. So
the report I read was the shooter was inside the school for 60 minutes prior to anybody coming there. Yeah. When initially they scrambled and says, first they said the resource officer engaged with the shooter, but there was no shots fired. And I'm like, well, I'm confused.
There was no resource officer engaging with nobody.
And when I heard that, I was like, that doesn't make any sense, because my husband was like, but an AR-15, you can't hide that in your pocket. Like it's not like the resource officer.
And they said they found like 30 magazines or some crazy number like that. You can't hide that neither. And if you had on tactical gear, you could see that too.
Bottom line is this country, this government is never prepared for something like that. Never prepared. Every school shooting you've ever heard of, you know about, that has been documented, they're never prepared. Never prepared.
And I guess I understand the police officer wanting to make it home alive, like they ain't go to work to die that day, but your job is that's part of the risk.
The risk of becoming a police officer. I'm not saying that you need to put yourself in harm's way. I'm saying that the risk of becoming a police officer. Mm-hmm. Every time you go and you put that uniform on, there's a possibility that you're not gonna make it home. That is the risk. People choose to do that. I don't choose to do that. That's why I'm not a police officer, but people choose to do that profession. My thing is that you have a place with babies
that ain't got no guns. They ain't got no guns.
They have no guns.
Nope.
They have a phone.
And they're like 8 and 9 and 10.
A room full of children
not defend themselves against
and
that dude.
You can hear gunshots. You can also hear screaming.
They said they didn't even go look by the window. Like they was like they could have gone and looked to the window to see what was going on. They stood there.
There's a whole bunch of they coulda, woulda, shoulda. There's a whole bunch of that to go around. The point I'm trying to make is that the way it's the way that they try to scramble to give a story, right? Rather than saying we don't know nothing yet. As soon as we get the information, then we'll come out and say something. But you scrambled that state. First of all, Texas is a whole other issue with their gun laws, because initially it was 21, now they lowered it down to 18.
And then now they wanted, you don't need no permits or nothing to get them. They want you to just go get it.
You'll get it.
And there was some tweet that the governor had previously put out, like, oh, California got more guns than us. Texas, I need y'all to step the game up, buy some more guns.
The fact that this kid turned 18
5 days ago now.
5 days ago, and the minute he turned 18, he went and bought an 8, because they changed the Abbott, right? So now he doesn't want to take no responsibility. All of a sudden now, well, mental health. Now you want to lay it down on mental health. And what irritates me about that with mental health, let me just be very clear. Statistics shows that people who have mental illness are most likely to be the victims, not the perpetrator. That's number one, right? Number two, you are now creating this narrative of mental health, and those who need it, who have it, right? You don't
stigmatize them, and they're like, I ain't trying to kill nobody.
You know what I'm saying? And then you go through all of that. That there was a press conference with Abbott, Cruz, all them bunch of people, and Beto O'Rourke walked up in there. Okay,
they managed to get him out of there real quick.
Walked up in there and basically saying the time is now for us to. We don't have time for nobody wants to hear about.
And they tried to say, oh, you trying to make this a political event at the people's expense.
And all he said was what everybody else was thinking, right? But you have that kind of energy. So where was that energy when it was time for you to go a bill that's sitting, HR8, that's sitting in the Senate for 2 years? We're not asking. Let me tell you something, and people need to understand what that legislators mean. They're not telling you to take away your arms. The 2 Amendment people, you 2A people.
They want you to have a waiting period, some background screening.
They're asking for a waiting period. They're basically saying people with mental illness cannot get guns, like all those things. And you mean to tell me that that's a problem for you?
Let me say what was the most amazing thing for me that came out of this, or at least in the way my brain works different, right? So I'm listening to this, and all I kept thinking was like, oh, so people are comfortable with so I was like, so these gun supporting folks are comfortable with regular citizen buying guns that police officers are scared of. Right? Because that's basically what that boiled down to, right? So when the cops heard the shots and they were like, we ain't going in there. So the police officers that y'all hire, give weapons to, scared of the guns that you just letting regular people buy. Because they stood outside for 60 minutes, was like, they ain't going in there.
Sandra, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
I'm like, y'all gonna let these people have guns that the police scared of. Okay.
We have the right to bear arms. Excuse me, we don't care if no police officer ain't afraid of that. What you talking about?
The police officers are afraid of it. That's why they ain't going inside.
But they don't care. I'm telling you that the 2A people, we don't care about that. What's your point? What's your point? They got guns too. What's your point?
They ain't got them kind of guns because they stayed outside for 60 minutes. They didn't go inside. They heard the shots, and then there were kids in there with no weapons.
How do you, as a governor who goes to the NRA in their events and speak at their events, how do you?
He's going this weekend too.
How do you sit down and you sit there and you with your performative reaction, and we have to get together. Us Texans got to, sir. Your people waited 60 minutes before they got there.
And was stopping parents from going inside to save their kids. That other lady was like, screw that. They said that lady was like, I think she went through a window or something, got her 2 kids and left with them. And that guy wasn't dead when she did that, because it was afterwards that the people came in and killed that guy. You know what I'm saying? And there was a dad out there that when they threatened to arrest him, bullying, saying no.
So they have all that energy. They have all that energy for these poor parents who's trying to kill themselves to get to their babies.
They get to their kids.
But you as a person with the gun, you don't want to go inside.
That got training and all that was standing outside talking about let's wait for the people with the other training.
I'm not
making no joke of this. This is crazy.
Broward County went through the same thing because the SRO that was on campus did not go in. He was afraid to go in. He didn't step foot in that building.
And he's facing charges as a result.
Well, my thing is, so for me, this whole country have their whole mind mixed up, because if you don't, but let's not say that, because 90% of the country want the legislation. Let's be clear. It's 52.
So I don't know how that's a number for real, but then they keep reelecting folks who don't want that legislation. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all out here trying to, so I don't know. I'm gonna start acting like I don't believe that, right? Because if that is something that you really want and it's a priority to you, right? How is it that you're continuing to reelect folks that are saying no to it? You know what I'm saying? Like they've been killing people like it's like a shooting like far too often. This within a week we done had, so there was 10 in Buffalo, 21, so in like a week we've had
there is reports 24 hours after this school shooting in Texas or whatever, they caught another kid with an AR-40 AK-47. And they intercepted him before he went into the high school to kill whatever things or whatever. This is my thing. This is a chronic issue in this country. This is not something that happens out of the blue. Since the year has started, I saw a report that said that we were like on number 200 in terms of
something. Yeah, it's over 200. It's over 200.
This is a chronic issue we have. It's a disease.
And I'm like, okay, if y'all want to keep letting people have their guns, right? Like, I think, how many bullets did that kid buy? Like 200 or 1,000? He bought an insane number of bullets, right? Like, poor kid. Like, why? Why would you let somebody? Why would there should be a flag on that? Be like, you need how much bullets? Why? For what? And you just ordered them in like 2 days. Like, if you say you want to say, all right, let the people keep their guns. Like, how do you let somebody buy hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bullets in a matter of days? For what?
But then again,
where are you going to use them?
Not only that, why would a country that's not in a war zone, a country that you can't really step foot in and start war with us without us knowing, why would we need assault weapons? Why do we need a gun that shoots 150 bullets a minute?
So you said those 2A people, like you call them and stuff like that, they want to have their weapons. I'm like, okay. So, but how do you let somebody buy that many bullets? If you because remember one of the things we said we were going to do, talk about like some solutions to and things that they can be that can happen, right? There should be a flag on that, because even if you say you have your weapon, because the Second Amendment allows you to have that, right? And you say you have your weapon because you want to protect your family from whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, in case somebody come to my house, they're gonna know not to come here because we ready, right? Okay, you could be ready, but you don't need no 200 bullets in your house, because you ain't like. I don't know who you think finna come invade your space that you need 200 bullets to go deal with them. Like, that's a whole nother problem, and somebody need to go have a conversation about that. My other thing is sorry. So that's crazy. So to me, now, if somebody wants to have 200 bullets, I'm like, they should only be able to have 200 bullets at a gun range, right? So you can go to the gun range and buy your 200 bullets and shoot at whatever you can shoot at in a gun range for 200, whatever amount of bullets, if that's something that you like to do. But there needs to be a place where people can go and do that. There's no way they should allow a person to have that much ammunition in their house, and particularly if they're buying it in such a short amount of time. I don't even know how that makes sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't make, no, you're absolutely right. It doesn't make sense. And my thing is the 24 hour to 48 or 48 hour period. My thing is, if you're not buying something to kill nobody, you can wait the 2 days. There is nothing wrong with someone waiting 2 days to get their weapon. You're not, if this is just something you want to have a gun in your home because you want to protect your family, great. You can wait the 2 days. You can wait the 2 days.
I guess they might think that, because if you can't wait, it sounds like you already know somebody coming. You know what I'm saying? And you should at least, and I think they should make them file a report with the police about what it is that they worried about. That's why I say,
if that's the case, then why do we have?
You need to let law enforcement know that that's a threat to you.
Why do we have law enforcement if you feel like you need to have?
Let them say, listen, I gotta go get this gun today because I think somebody coming to my house to come get me or something like that. File a report to explain why you need to get these bullets.
There should be something on the form where I'm pretty sure that the legislation is trying to work that out, or they've worked that out already. Something on it. You should be able to wait the 2 days. Period. If you're in a rush to get something earlier than the 2 days, then the law enforcement that we pay taxes for, that's their job. You need to go over there and say, hey, you know what? This person threatened me. I need to get protection. This is what's going on.
That's why I need this gun today, so it's documented at least. But I still don't think you should sell them no however many bullets, they're like 200, 1,000, like that.
Is that
there's no reason for that, like none.
And the kid just turned 18. I'm pretty sure they saw the paperwork and the kid just turned 18. My thing is that you cannot drink until you're 21, but you can get a whole gun with 200
bullets. 30 magazines. Like, where you going, bro? Like, what kind of problems you got in your life like that, man?
What are we doing? What are we doing? We can barely get into a contract with you when you just turned 18, but you getting guns? What are we doing?
And they were saying that he was being bullied, and because he was poor and ain't had no clothes. But I'm like, you had money to go buy them kind of guns, and you ain't had no money to go get some clothes, dude. I think you should have went and bought some drip. And they don't, if you worried about what people think, you should have got some new drip, and you went back to school. They'd be like, oh, well, look at Salvador, he got some new drip, But instead you go, and then you go to the school and kill kids that ain't do nothing to you.
Well, but that is indicative.
Like now, bro, if you a whole 18-year-old and you can't handle a second, third, and fourth grader pranking you or punking you or bullying you, dude.
But that's not what it was. That his behavior is indicative of those school shooters. They don't usually go to the people. Majority go to the
they know exactly who they trying to get.
They know who they targeting. But see, I think with him, he was like, I need to be in control with such people who are not going to be running. Because I feel like I almost believe that he was bullied so much that all the kids at his school would be like, he would be the fool to come in here and shoot us all. Like everybody would just figure you're the one. You would be the one.
I need you to mess with who you got beef with.
I need you to mess with who you got beef with. I totally agree. But this nonsense of law enforcement sitting out there because it's based on
an hour
to wait,
and they heard gunshots and they ain't go inside.
You can even make an effort to go inside, even if you get your arm blown off, but you going in there, you're gonna take somebody out or whatever. But
did you hear that the teacher's husband died? He had a heart attack and died.
Yes, I heard.
They had 4 kids.
Ridiculous. It's disgusting. It's and you know what? I don't, like elected officials who are coming to my, enough is enough not enough.
Enough ain't enough for you because y'all ain't doing nothing.
Apparently that's not enough because if it was enough, it would have been enough after Sandy Hook. That's when it would have been enough because that was teeny babies. Okay. Yeah. But we let this go on since Sandy Hook. There's been what I saw an article that
it got to be in the thousands, man. It got to be in the thousands.
4,000 and some odd school shootings since Sandy Hook. 4,000 and some, or maybe 3,800. I can't even remember. But one is too much. And you all want to sit and be comfortable, and you got 52 senators sitting up there and refusing to pass legislation for gun control.
They won't do nothing.
52
and to
me, people in this country, and 52 people are holding us hostage.
And the fact that the NRA still want to have a convention in Texas, right? It's like y'all ain't even gonna be like,
no, absolutely not, because that's mental health.
Because to me, that's really like, they're like, that's if there was a poster for like, I don't give a F about you and what you're going through, having that daggone conference in Texas.
They got to maintain that narrative, right?
I don't give a. I almost said it.
But it's true. But they're maintaining the narrative, right? The more you make it look like it's mental health, the better it is. If you slightly say anything about any, of course they have to keep on. They got to do it. They have to. If they don't do it, then they're going to concede that they really got a gun issue here in this country. And the fact that the governor is allowing that mess after you done lost 19 babies and 2 wonderful people who put their, did you know that one of the police officers came out and told one of the sons, I can't remember which parent it was, which one of the teacher's kids, they said, oh, your mom was shielding other kids. That's how she ended up dying, because she was shielding her students. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah,
one of the ladies had a kid in her hand when they, and then mind you, so this is the other part about the 60-minute delay. So one of the kids was pretending to be dead, right? And he was on top of another kid that was bleeding but wasn't dead. And they believed that child bled to death because of the time it took for them to go inside.
Of course it did. But
that's how people of Texas obviously like it. If they didn't, they'd vote these people out. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
yeah, I agree.
You're right.
I absolutely agree. Like and for you to let these people to keep working and represent you,
and then not only represent you, then they have the audacity to sit in front of a television and talk as if they feel something like that bothered them, so like they can't, like they're so hurt by it. Are you kidding?
They ain't sound hurt to me.
Well, he was trying to act like he was hurt to me. I saw the governor was really performative. He was really performative. To me, he was really performative. And for you to sit there, and the minute this happened, his behind should have been up and calling an emergency meeting and say, hey, you know what? We're going to have to change that. We can't do that 18 no more. We're going to have to make that up to like maybe 25, 21, whatever. We're going to have to do something. This man had the audacity to sit there and make it look like it was mental health only.
Oh, but Mitch McConnell said that they couldn't vote for no gun legislation because it's going to target conservatives.
But 19 babies, but 36 parents are going to be burying 19 babies in the next few weeks. For the next 2 weeks, they're going to be burying.
Babies about to be burying their parents because they lost their mama and their daddy in 2 days.
But what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? You have senators who's holding this whole country hostage and allowing white young males, well, this one was Hispanic, but usually he was following the same doctrine or whatever, to come in and just destroy people's lives for no reason. There's no reason behind it. And then you want to use mental health. That's what irritates me.
That's not no mental health. That's something else.
That's not mental health.
That's that hate.
And then the worst part about it is, Abbott came out there, says there's no indication that anything has to do with mental. There's no indication there was any mental health thing. With your own mouth. He said with his own mouth.
So it's not domestic terrorism. It's not white supremacy. It's not none of that.
There was nothing that indicated it was mental health, but yet still you giving that narrative that is mental health. What are you doing? And people in Texas, if y'all listening or whatever, this is who represents you. That those babies died under his watch.
Yep.
Kids died
he's encouraging people to get more guns. He wants to make it easier for people to get guns, and so it's gonna be easier for folks to do this. And so, yeah, I'm just gonna
be really raw with people in Texas. Y'all need to figure out how you're gonna sit there and send your kids to school. Coming this
school ended today.
No, coming this new school year, you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna send your babies to school.
Oh yeah, because school start before the election.
It does.
You're
gonna figure out how you're gonna work that out
before the election. Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, if you vote Abbott right back in, guess what? It's open season on all babies. And it's real. This is
everybody. On everybody, because if he gets away with saying you don't need nothing to you could just go get your gun. Do you know how bananas that is? Like that, boy. Wow. So the problem for the gun violence is to have more guns. That is amazing.
That's amazing to me. That's amazing. And not only that, we're gonna make it so easy that we're gonna lower the age in Texas. You're gonna be soon as you turn 18,
you can get 200 bullets, 1,000 bullets.
Soon as you turn 18. And if anyone who looks and watches, do your research and find out what is the FBI profiler for school shooters. Read it. Look at the ages.
So I have this bully thing, man. I have this conversation. I'm just like, yo, these kids so soft. They just too soft because everybody keep praising them. Because I'm like, if I was like, yo, I used to wear tennis shoes to school that my mama bought from the grocery store for like, I don't know, I think they were like $3.99 or something like that. You know what I mean? And never have I ever thought of doing anything like that. I just rocked the shoes until you could get some better ones. Like, at least I wasn't barefoot. Like, what do you? I mean, really, dude? Like, and then, okay, and all these thrift stores out here, man, clothes is way too cheap for people to, like, I just don't even understand how, like, somebody worried about their clothes. But, I mean, maybe they have the pressure to do, like, designer stuff or whatever, but they got all of these, like, you could get stuff online, you could get stuff secondhand, and then you get designer stuff. It's all, and now you can establish your own fashion. Like you could, because everything goes. Like when I was growing up, there was like certain things were in style, right? And so usually, like they had the Jordan jeans and stuff. So it was certain things inside. Now it's like you basically can decide whatever it is that you want to wear. You can decide your own look, and all of it is cool. So you're gonna tell me you thought you needed to go kill people because people were talking about the way you was dressed and you was poor? Are you serious? Like, I mean, it's too much. It's absolutely just I'm saying, like, legit. My mom bought my tennis shoes at the grocery store.
Okay. Let me tell you something. This generation is all about giving kids.
Tamika said they look like kids. No, I had the one that looked like fake Adidas. They had about 6 lines on the side. That she's right. They did look.
They do look like yes, she's right.
They were fake. They looked like K-Swiss.
That's the ones I wore. That's the ones I wore.
I had the ones that look like K-Swiss. They had about 6 lines on the side, blue and white.
That's the one I wore. When I was living in New York, we had them ugly bobos and all them other stuff. That's the ones I wore. I mean, it is what it is. We're living in a generation that every child get a medal for participation. There's when I was growing up, you didn't make the team. If you couldn't play, you couldn't make the team. Period. That's how that was. Nope, you're not good enough. You're gonna have to practice over the summer, and then you come back, and then we see if you improve. If you didn't improve, you're still gonna have to wait on it. Like there was no you get on a team because you on the team. That's not how
I hurt my kids' feelings on the regular, just cause. Just because I say some wild stuff.
I wish I could pull my kids so they can tell you what I say. This is my favorite thing. That's not your lane. That's not your lane. That's not for you. That's
like, please. I heard their feelings on the regular.
I said, ain't nobody gonna tell you the truth outside, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's not your lane. That is not for you. Not for you. Not for you. And listen, I'm not saying that there's certain forms of bullies that you can't get around. I get the bully thing. Like I get it, right? But not to the point.
Well, they seem to like all them other bullies, you know. They like that former bully president, all these other bullies that's in office. They seem to like those bullies, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and all them other bullies talking that crazy. So
them bullies got money. So when you got money like that, you can bully people that way and then say that you just talking, you ain't doing nothing, you ain't trying to, what you call it.
This is sad. This is real sad.
But this is the state of affairs. And my thing is that we're in a midterm election. We are in a midterm election.
Y'all gotta get rid of them people. This place is going down in flames. It's not pretty. It's not pretty. No.
We're going to hell in a handbasket, honey.
And I wonder if the president can like sign some executive order, like they can't be selling bullets like that. I don't know. Because he should be able to do something, homie. Because it's like, okay, because I know you can't go to the house and go take all the guns from the people, but ain't nowhere in the world nobody should be able to get that many bullets. Not at their house. Now you could order them and they're going to deliver them to the gun store, and then the people at the gun store are going to let you shoot up the paper, whatever the thing they use for target practice, and then you leave your bullets and come back and use them the next time. But there's no way nobody should have that much stuff in their house. Like that ain't, and not having those bullets ain't no violation of your Second Amendment's right. That is not a violation because you got your gun and you got some bullets. You just ain't got no 200 or 1,000 of them. That ain't what the Second Amendment said you could have.
They're just making an executive. In his executive order, he should put down. You can't be 18. You can't just turn 18 and get you no guns. You're going to have to wait till you're 21. All right. That should be in an executive order. And then the next executive order is right. The magazines. You don't need that many.
What for what?
But you need that many for? What you mean that? But hey,
you can't hunt with that. You can't. It ain't nothing good coming out of you having all them bullets in your house.
He did sign an executive order for police reform day before yesterday.
And this is the other thing. So one of my friends, I was talking to him about it, and he said one of the bullets he said they were selling some bullets because he said, and he was asking the guy in the gun store. He's like, well, who you shoot with this bullet? The guy said an elephant. I'm like, why they selling them here? We ain't got no elephants. Like, what? Why are you able to buy a freaking bullet that could like kill an elephant? Why?
You asking why as if you don't know the history of this country, as if you brand new around here. Like your ancestors were brought over here, okay? Your ancestors was brought by barbarians, okay? They're barbarians. They're savages.
I think we said what we had to say. This is not our problem. It is our problem because we got to deal with it and we're affected by it. But in terms of like those conversations that need to be had, y'all need to talk to y'all brothers, y'all sisters, y'all husbands, y'all children, y'all. Because somebody, and I don't think his grandma passed because I haven't heard that the grandma died, even though they said he shot the grandma, right? There was no updates on the grandma.
There was another report he shot her 8 times. There was all these reports or whatever. I don't know.
Abuela got shot 7 or 8 times and she's still alive. Oh my goodness. She got to be here to talk and tell us like what were the signs that they missed.
Says she's the one that called the cops. I don't know. The point I'm trying to make is, listen, this is midterm elections. These senators that's holding people
Them people gotta go.
that don't want to pass
For real,
legislation
they gotta go.
to protect y'all. Hey,
they gotta go.
They gotta go. They got to go.
They gotta go. They gotta go. They gotta go. They gotta go.
Not even those senators. Those elected officials who take money from the NRA, Democrats and Republicans. Don't be acting like the Democrats don't take it because they take some of that
money too.
They take that money too or whatever. Y'all, they need to call them out. They have to go. They can't. They can't keep their job. They can't keep their job.
This is nuts.
You all can't feel comfortable knowing that 19 babies lost their lives over some foolery.
For a guy who was able to buy a gun 2 days after his birthday and buy like 200 or whatever crazy number amount of bullets, like to me, that's like, there's no way that should have happened. Like, no way that should have happened, right? And then we talking about the 10-minute delay. They may have a reason for that, but 60-minute delay. Like, if these parents wanted to go in there and put their life on the line to go get their kid, you gonna put them in handcuffs? Like, who trained you folks? Like, where y'all from? Like,
but that shouldn't even prompt the police. Be like, all right, so
they should understand.
These parents are willing to go in there to get.
They would have shot me. They probably shot me too. I've been in that building.
Bulletproof vests. Maybe we can probably get away with trying to get close or whatever. They didn't even make
They stood outside.
Not even an attempt to do it. You didn't even make an attempt. You so much so that a woman went in the school on her own to
got her kids and was out of there.
Embarrassing.
And that shooter was alive when she did that.
That shouldn't have even been brought out. It shouldn't have been even.
The people held on the press conference ain't tell that. She told that to the New York Times, and all of the parents that were standing outside, they're the ones that made it known that there's like, I don't know what they telling y'all at this press conference yesterday, because remember they had a press conference last night. Yes. They was like, I don't know what they telling y'all, but that ain't what happened, because we was all standing outside, and they were standing outside for like an hour and wouldn't let us in. So they tried to give another story, and the parents that were actually out there contacting other news outlets and be like, yo, what they told y'all yesterday ain't what happened. That ain't how this went down at all.
I can't. And Governor Abbott walking around here throwing his weight around like
walking. Sorry, he ain't walking.
He don't walk.
Remember, he's the one in the house. He's in a wheelchair. He's in a wheelchair.
Sorry, not sorry. You rolling around, making it look like throwing your weight around, making it look like you doing something, and you not. You sitting there, you trying to make it look like this child had mental illness. And by your own admission, you said he ain't had no mental illness.
Nope.
What are you doing?
Not much.
I can't take it. And
all right, better for governor of Texas.
Biden don't get no pass either. Because
bro, y'all gotta do something about them bullets then. If y'all can't do nothing about them guns, do something about them bullets. Do something about them bullets. That'll make no damn sense.
This don't make no sense. You sit there, what in God's name? No, what you doing? You should have called all these people back into to session and say, we're gonna either stay here all night or we doing an executive order. But this sitting there talking about God's name, God ain't had nothing to do with that. No, he didn't. Don't be putting on talking about what in God's name. What you should have been doing is doing an executive order or getting these people.
I don't know how that works, but
I don't know how you do
nothing about the guns, but.
Because it's not okay to me that 19 babies lost their lives and two teachers who had children and husbands and wives and family members lost their lives because y'all can't get it together. Kids rely on us to make decisions for them. They look to us for us to protect them.
And I mean, having guns that police officers scared of, that's amazing. That's a trip. I'm like, so the cops scared that they hear the gunshots, knowing the kids and everybody in there ain't got no guns. Y'all scared to go inside, but y'all okay with regular people just buying this stuff. Okay. Okay.
It's the level of foolery for me.
Oh, and you saw Ted Cruz walked out of an interview because the man in Britain is like, yo, why that happened in the United States? Why they have? Because he said, well, we don't have mass shootings here. Like, why y'all got all these mass shootings in the United States? Ted Cruz got mad and got up and walked out.
So what are you upset about? And you know me, I'm all about listen, accountability. You know, somebody posted something and I put a comment on there. I said, I don't know. Am I allowed to say that word?
Don't curse though. I don't know. Don't curse now.
Okay, well, I can't say it.
Hopefully YouTube don't make this video private either.
Oh yeah, we got in trouble.
They sent us an email about the last video.
All we're saying is we're just asking for common sense gun control
legislation.
Laws. That's all we're asking for. Common sense legislation, gun laws. That's all we're asking.
Them bullets.
The two-way people, y'all can keep your weapons. I'm not saying you can take away. I don't want nobody taking away.
You shouldn't have no 200 bullets.
I'm just saying that this needs to be tapered off somehow, because
if you're worried about somebody coming to your house that you think you need 200 bullets for, you need to have a standing report filed with the police department so they'll know.
Some people can handle having firearms, and some people cannot. And
they get out the fire. Okay, I'm gonna go with the firearms, but you don't need them in bullets. I don't care, because even if you're worried about a home invasion, if you're worried about a home invasion that's gonna require you to have hundreds of bullets to defend yourself against it, that sounds like there's a war about to happen in your house, and you need to let the law enforcement, the authorities know so they can be prepared for the mini war that's about to happen in your house. Because how many people about to roll up on you that you need that much ammunition? Like, seriously? No. No.
Midterm elections, everyone. Midterm elections.
Yeah, y'all gotta vote them out.
Vote some of these people who
you gotta vote them all out.
Vote the people out who are willfully not doing the will of the people. Willfully not doing the will of the people. You voted them in to do your will, the people's will, not their own.
And they're not doing that.
Not doing the will of the people.
They're not doing that.
Their job. Their job was because you told them to come do what they needed to do.
They're not doing that.
They wanted to do. That's how that works.
Any parent that had kids that they had to send to school, I don't care what your politics are. You hesitated Wednesday morning sending your kids to school. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care if you pro Second Amendment. I don't care what your politics are. You thought twice about sending your kid to school Wednesday morning. Okay? So that's how you want to live. Like every day you want to wonder like whether or not your kids coming home. And again, they've shown you that they're shooting all color kids, all kind of age. They're not discriminating on who it is that they're targeting. So you can't no, for real.
You sent your kids to school Wednesday morning with a tight heart. That's how
everybody was scared sending their kids.
My heart was tight.
Any parent.
Okay, it was dreading the drive to drop off my babies. It wasn't easy for me to do. Yep. And I'm just saying that everybody across this country did the same thing. It wasn't easy for you to drop off your kids to school that day. It wasn't.
Nope.
And if you are a parent that cares about their children and even if you are someone who is a 2A amendment person, you know that nothing can replace your children. Nothing. Nothing. Common sense gun laws, common sense legislation is just common sense. That's what it is. You can wait the 2 days to get your gun if you got to wait the 2 days.
You could be older and you don't never need them many bullets. Listen, never. And if you think you do need it, man, you need to have a standing report with the police department that listen. It's some like, I ain't gonna call no nationality, but it's some gangsters coming to your house. I don't know where they from, but you got some serious beef for some serious people. Like,
I'm just saying.
You need to have a standing report with the police department. Like, I gotta have this because I don't know when they coming.
We pay taxes, which means their taxes cover the police department. They work for us. So if you feel threatened to the point where you got to get a gun today, you go to your police officer, your police station.
Let them know, like,
I feel like my life is being threatened. Can you have a patrol car drive around the area for me every so often? Can you think?
When I make the news, because I had to do what I did, I let y'all know that this was gonna happen. So.
I can't. But before we go,
yes, ma'am.
Do you want to address the access seats?
Well, so the point of when we're doing these shorts is that they're supposed to be short, right? Okay, we might hit 45 minutes. Because this was definitely like a conversation. I really had to like get it off my chest however way it was gonna get off my chest. So I'm glad we were able to do this. So what we can do is like if not tomorrow, like over the weekend or Monday or something like that, we can have to access these conversations because we need to have it. And I think next week we might be interviewing like 3 candidates or something like that. Yes. If it's not next week, it's the first week in June. So before we do those, start doing those the weeks with the multiple interviews, we'll have the conversation about the access seat, and we're going to talk to folks and see what their thoughts are on that. Because to me, that's how folks tell you where they really stand, right? Because a lot of the races are nonpartisan, right? But some of the comments that they make, they kind of let you know where they stand on certain things without kind of letting you know where they stand on certain things. Okay,
that's true.
So, yeah. So yeah,
So
we don't want to.
We'll talk about Access C. We'll talk about where that came from, why it came up, and we'll discuss.
It's an important conversation, but again, we already just had an hour interview with Mayor Anna. And so and we want to definitely talk about this. Condolences to all those family members. Put pressure on your y'all need to start putting pressure on your legislator. Call them, email them, whatever. They be mad. People be protesting in front of their house, but they need some stress too, because apparently they ain't got to deal with no stresses. That's why they can go out here and sit around and make these decisions, messing up people's life. Because parents are stressed about sending their kids to school. We have like another 3 weeks in school, so we're gonna be stressed for the next 3 weeks while we send our kids to school like every day. So no, stress them out, call them, send them emails, whatever. And something need to give. Like something absolutely needs to give. This is nuts.
Put pressure. And when I say put pressure, put pressure. And
we're in all of this.
I keep going back to this midterm elections because listen, at the end of the day, if you don't have the right people,
we have the power to change this. We do.
If you don't have the right people in, we're going to still be having this conversation. So those who are there now obviously do not deserve their job. Okay. Yep. And they have to go.
And so on that note, Val Demings for U.S. Senate, because Marco Rubio, one of the senior senator from the state of Florida, he's over here with the nonsense, voting against everything that will benefit Floridians. So he got to go. So we need Val Demings to be the next United States senator from the state of Florida, because Rubio been there for 12 years and he ain't do nothing. He has not done it. He absolutely does not deserve to keep his job.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And when it's time for Rick Scott to go about his business too, he gonna roll too.
Yeah, I think we got him to about 26 or something like that. Because I think he just got voted in 2020.
God help us all.
Something like that. No, he was 2018, so he might be up in 24.
I think he
was 2018, so yeah, he's up in 24.
Well, he can go too.
Yeah,
he can't stay too. He got to go. Whoever is thinking about running for that Senate seat.
We got to focus on Val. We need Val Demings.
Get her in.
I didn't bring my thing up. Next time I'll show it. But yeah, we need to get Val Demings. Marco Rubio got to go.
Certainly,
get Val Demings in there.
Certainly, we have to get rid of the governor.
Oh yeah. So okay. Yeah, he got to go too.
He got to go. He can't stay.
So I guess that's Nikki Fried or Charlie Crist, but he got to go.
Yep. Yeah, this is what it is. All right, y'all. So we'll holler at y'all next week when we have our next. We don't have an interview next week.
We do.
So we're gonna have we don't have
June 1st. Yes, we have somebody June 1st.
Yeah, but okay. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do. Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, we have somebody Wednesday.
Okay, we do have somebody Wednesday. All right, so we do have an interview Wednesday. Well, we'll see y'all later.
Yes.